What has Google done for me lately?
What has Google done for me lately?
What has Google done for me lately?
My wife and I were blessed to have two beautiful twins, a boy and a girl. About 5 weeks later, the boy, Andrew, started shivering. It was scary.
It was a nightmare.
They wanted to do an emergency blood transfusion. Just on a hunch, I went to Google on my cell phone.
And Google comes to the rescue.
I did a search for premature infants plus hemoglobin.
And it came up with this article that said not to do the blood transfusion.
We showed the neonatologist who went back and did some research, and ultimately he came back and he said that everything was fine.
Thanks to Google, we went from needing this major procedure for a newborn to being able to go home.
So I'm a big fan of the Google search engine.
Someone needs a diaper change.
I started the tech import company in 2001. I had 200 euros to invest on Google. It's in 2002 that I had my first big contract with one of the biggest companies in France. So now I only use Google. In fact, 90% of my advertising goes to Google AdWords. I owe 90% of my success to Google. Now I have more money just to play tennis, to go out. This year we expect to make about 2.5 million euros. This is totally a dream for me.
What has Google Book Search done for me as an author? They've leveled the playing field. As an independent small author who's struggling and trying to get started, I can compete with the Tom Clancy's of the world. My thought was that I would instantly have all my books sitting on the bookshelves in Barnes & Noble. Well, it didn't turn out that way. I was forced to turn to print-on-demand publishing and pay for the production myself. Once a week, I Google my own name to find out what my exposure is on the internet. And one day I went online and I found that my book had been added to Google Book Search. Very quickly I found that my sales were skyrocketing. Without Google, my book would have died on the electronic vine.
When Y Destination started business, when we started selling hotels over the internet, we only sold Thailand hotels. Google as a search engine and its reach it has worldwide convinced us that Google is the right company to use.
I love Google.
I like AdWords because we can quickly implement ad campaigns and you also can very accurately measure your return of investment. We can overnight pause the ad, we can adjust the ad, we can lower the ad, and that's real-time advertising. Today we have 54 destinations and sell over 10,000 hotels with a total daily revenue of between 80 and 100,000 US. If you want to sell over the internet, you must advertise in Google. There's simply no other way to advertise.
Google has really revolutionized the referral base to me and to Stanford for Moyamoya disease patients. Well, Moyamoya disease is a rare condition.
Many healthcare providers don't know enough about the disease.
Google and the internet has helped to educate patients nationally and worldwide. It's helped to educate physicians in terms of possible treatments.
This is a picture of Daphne. The doctors said that she had Moyamoya, and that's what caused her stroke, and that nothing could be done for her. And Daphne's grandmother actually got on the computer and Googled Moyamoya, and they found moyamoya.com and ended up finding Dr. Steinberg.
I think that the ability of patients to get to us through Google and the internet has provided hope for these patients and their families that never existed before.
Essentially, Google saved her life because she had been sent home to die with no other options from her local physicians.
What has Google done for me lately? I was on Google's email product, Gmail, emailing with some girlfriends, and we were just talking, and one of them said, you know, happy Passover. I was preparing to have Passover Seder here at the house, and I was thinking, how in the world am I gonna survive a 3-hour Seder? 3-hour Seder? I know. Well, at the top of that email, there was a text link, and it said 30minuteseder.com. So because of the text link ad that I saw on Gmail, we were able to find the site. Never would have found it. Google saved me 2.5 hours.
What does that say?
Google.